All right, he went from an outlaw biker to Mr. America, and now has a best-selling book out. Put your headphones on if you want. It's our friend Tom Terwilliger. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning, guys. Man, it's awesome to be back here. It's been a while.
It's been over 10 years, maybe.
I think so. I think
what the hell is that?
I was here with Ted Lange. I think it was a couple of years ago.
That was at the other studio.
Was it the other studio?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Wax didn't know you were an outlaw biker.
You didn't know that?
I thought you were an in-law biker. Now, I've ridden with Twigs before, and he always goes first so nobody messes around with it. Like when we ride with Ricky, you just go, put him first so no one says anything.
Put him in the lead, put him in the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, my history with bicycle way, way back, actually the early 70s. I got my first panhead. It was an old, rigid frame chopper. It was a 1954 panhead, and I made an incredible deal for that bike. I traded $50 and a case of beer for my first bike, but I was in high school, so there was nobody to ride with. So I literally started hanging out at some of these bars where anytime I saw bikes out in front of the bars, I started hanging out there. And I met some outlaws from some of the clubs, the Hells Angels and the Pagans. Of course, I was in New York, and those were the predominant outlaw bike clubs, and started riding with them for about 5 years or so. That was my lifestyle.
Well, you write about in the book about an incident that happened at one of the clubhouses where a shotgun went off.
Oh, yeah.
Tell about that, and that kind of was what made you decide you wanted to do something else.
Well, it's interesting because even prior to that, I had been, kind of wrestling with this idea that there was something more. I think riding with the outlaws and being one of them, living that lifestyle for a while, at least for me. Now, listen, that doesn't, whatever anybody else is doing, their lifestyle is their lifestyle. For me, it was a way of hiding. It was a way of playing small. I was literally hiding from the world as a one-percenter. So what happened, I had already started toying with the idea, playing with the idea that maybe there's something more. Maybe I'm better than this, perhaps.
Maybe crank's not the way to go.
Maybe not, although it was fun for a while.
Maybe car batteries full of crank sent over across the street, probably not.
Well, the glue that kept me there really was the HDs, man. And the brotherhood. I tell you, the camaraderie and the brotherhood, there's no tighter brotherhood than Outlaw Biker Club. I mean, it's absolutely amazing in that respect. They will die for each other, and even kill for each other. So the incident that really was the catalyst for change for me was, I was at the Pagan Clubhouse, and we were, I was leaning against this old rickety old bar. It was probably made out of old 2x4s and plywood held together by duct tape. And I had my third or fourth beer, and I heard this voice, literally a voice in my head that said, "You're done. Walk away." I heard it twice, and I knew it wasn't coming from anyone around me, because I looked around. I must have looked like a boxer on the mat who just, had heard the count of 10, you're out. So I walked away, and as I did, I kind of turned back for a moment just to look. Because I knew it wasn't just walking away for that moment. I was walking away, period. I was done. And as I did, someone must have shoved against that rickety old bar and knocked loose from the back shelf the loaded double-barrel shotgun that must have been cocked and ready to go. Because when it hit the ground, boom, both barrels went off, exploded, and went through the bar at the very spot that I had been standing just moments before. And it left a massive hole. I mean, the whole place filled with shotgun shells and glass and wood. I mean, the place erupted. I mean, you can imagine everybody pulling out their 9mm, their shotguns. I mean, they didn't know what the hell hit the ground. And I just stood there. I was like frozen, man. Because literally, that was the spot I'd been standing. If I hadn't moved, I wouldn't be here today.
And that's a long ways to where you ended up, and also where you are today. I mean, he wins the world title, Ricky.
Mr. America, 1986.
Yeah.
So you got into bodybuilding. You're already kind of dabbling in it.
I was dabbling in it as a teenager, because it was one of those things where, again, it's sort of like, it's this esoteric sport. It wasn't one of the top 4 sports in high school all my friends played. And I figured, hey, it's another way for me to get away from the norm, you might say, which is what I was attempting to do at that time. So even as a teenager, I was bodybuilding, did a few shows, won a couple contests and stuff, but it was incongruent for me to be a champion at that time with my self-esteem, with who I felt like I was. Freud said that we'll always manifest into our lives what it is that we believe about ourselves and the world. So I believed I wasn't.
That's why I'm screwed.
That's it.
I'm the only guy who's not getting any that's screwed. What the hell?
Well, you can't trust that Freud guy anyway. I mean, he's, it didn't help him any.
They did have to replace his jaw a couple of times from smoking, but he had it together.
Well, after that incident at the bike club, I made a decision I was going to do more. And I really started studying great achievers. How'd they do it? Because I had this perception that guys that had it, that were successful, kind of were given the gift. They had the silver spoon. They were genetically gifted in some way. And what I found out instead was that the great achievers, some of the people who were really successful in life, were able to overcome the fears, the doubts, the uncertainties, and all this BS that we have in our head about who we are and who we shouldn't be, and they were able to just move forward with their decisions. And I started to find out also that they did 7 things the same. Each one of them did exactly the same thing. 7 things, which are, I now know, are the mechanics of achievement. And I've written about that in the book.
That's the book, 7 Rules of Achievement.
Yeah.
And it made it to the bestseller list a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
The day I had my sinus surgery, I read it while I was sitting around.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is inspiring.
Yeah.
And I can recommend it to everybody listening to the show. How do people get the book?
Well, they can go to Amazon, certainly. That's probably the best place to get it. Barnes & Noble online. Some of the stores are carrying it now, which is really fantastic. We're thrilled about that. But Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. You can also go to our website.